Hey everybody, hope you guys doing alright. Sorry with my throat. So how do I say this? One of the things that I'm really good at, or at least I seem to be alright at, is my ability to continue to things that I really love, like movies, music, people, activities. I can continue to do them on and on, on and on and on. Like I don't really get tired of them. I can watch the same movies, and a lot of times when I watch the same movies over and over again, because I'm changing, or when I've gone through, I especially notice it when I've gone through significant changes with myself. My perception changes, so it's like I'll watch the same movie with a different perspective. So it's almost like kind of watching it again or with a different lens. But anyways, that was just kind of a side note. I really wanted to just say one of my things that I'm all right at is continuing on with something, like not getting bored with it, just continuing to persevere and endure the challenge or whatever it may be. Um, and it's like with this project and just how far I've come, and like it's just I'm not going to stop. Like I can't stop, and I know it's in my heart. Like as daunting as it is, even to myself, at times, the way what I've learned, and then when I look at the world, like it just matches up too well, like too well. It's just like this could totally work if it was put together in the right way. In my opinion, it's exactly what I think. Maybe not exactly, but I think would be a huge benefit to humanity and this whole realm, as far as the animals, the ecosystem, the elements, everything is concerned. Also, I think it'd be really cool. Like, who doesn't want to have a job that they're doing things that's more aligned with what they actually love to do, and that's good for the rest of the world too. So it's like there's so many reasons to continue on, And then I continue to see people. I mean, not lately because I haven't really gone out into these other places, but in the past, I remember going to like fast food establishments and stuff like that, and I see people with like so much potential, like in beauty and love and just like soul power working at fast food place. It's like it's like fuck, dude, this is ridiculous. And if I'm not able to pull something off, then I'll probably have to end up I mean, there's other things I could try, but my experience is when generally working, fast food or restaurant establishments and stuff like that. So I can relate to how it feels to have to do that type of stuff. Now, if you love to cook, that's different. But I mean, I enjoy cooking, but I don't want to do it, 40 hours a week. I don't want that to be my career. Like I've never dreamed about being a chef or anything like that. I just enjoyed, I got a job at Chuck E. Cheese. I found I liked making pizzas. A lot of it has to do with like the tickets and like how fast you can do it and like the hand movements that's concerned. Like I really enjoyed the challenge of being able to like get the pizzas out there as quick as possible, going through the rushes and all this and that. But after you do it for a while, like it's no longer a challenge, so it doesn't really hold the same appeal because I really don't love to do it. It's nothing I'm really, if I was really passionate about it, I'd continue to want to do it, but it's not something like I don't fantasize about opening my own pizzeria or anything like that. I fantasize about developing an opportunity for human beings to live in a way that's good with the overall environment, with everything, all the life forms as well as we can, and that is actually geared towards helping people learn the skills that they want to learn that are also beneficial to this planet, and opening up like some type of a good international army because we're facing, in my opinion, an international bad army. So that it just makes good sense to have a good army to counter them, or at least have to provide security. We already know, or at least we know a little bit about how bad these child pedophile rings are and human trafficking rings and fentanyl rings, and they seem to be relatively as tied together. So like there's clearly some type of nefarious organizational army working and that has a lot of power over this whole planet. So something needs to be done about it, and nobody seems to, no government agency or military or type of power that I have seen, is really able to counter these people in the way that needs to be done, because it needs to be an international thing. Like it could start here in the States, and then once we show that we can do a little bit here in certain cities, it can grow and it can spread worldwide. And it's just that's something I love to do. Like there's a reason why I've always had an affinity for like soldiering and backpacking and just like shooting and guns and swords and movements. Like it's all, there's reasons for all these things for everybody. Whatever your passions may be, there's a reason for it. And it's so like for me, I've spent a lot of time thinking about this stuff, so it makes sense that I would, something in my life would be associated with those type of things. But I know I'm not going to join the military because it's just like, especially now, it's just even more contrived and controlled, and they fill you with so many vaccines and pharmaceuticals. Because my brother, he actually was about. I know they do these things, so and I don't like the idea of having to take an order that I don't feel good about, because a lot of times they're put into situations that are contrived, and it's like you're literally helping perpetuate this lie that's really here just to help perpetuate more fear, death, and destruction on people that don't even, that are just trying to live their lives, And it's like, and then it's really fucked up because Americans, they think they're going over there being heroes. I think a lot of them. and they're actually being terrorists. I mean, just because that they're scaring. I mean, not all of them, and that's not. I'm just saying I can see how their presence there scares other civilians and has caused a lot of damage and destruction. And just even them being there in the other forces that are, and the people that get caught in the middle. Like, well, there'd be no middle ground if the American troops and other troops weren't there in the first place. Like, now it's different if they actually have to be there. But in my opinion, the 9/11 events were completely contrived to get us over there to do all these types of things, to perpetuate the military-industrial complex, to bring in the opium and to OxyContin, all these types of things. And so, and all this death and all these wars are giant spells, rituals of themselves, of fear and violence and rage and murder and just really bad shit, man. Not to mention, people are profiting fucking ridiculously off it. So, same thing with the cancer industry. And that's why it's like, if you guys see the patterns linked, it would make sense if you really, whether there was some type of like nefarious agency against mankind that they would want to have people getting as sick as often without, and then they want to get them getting sick, but in the system that they're getting sick, they want them to feel like they're safe and secure and that there's ways to help heal themselves if they do get sick. And this is where our medical industry comes into play. And then it appears to be this thing, in my opinion, that is here to help. And it does help people survive, because my dad had to go to the ICU once and he was bad, and he ended up surviving because of the. So you can use some of these current technologies to help heal people, but they don't teach you really hardly